Hello, sports fans. Welcome to the Oklahoma Sports Report. I'm Rick Heath. With me, Mark Rodgers, and we are at Bar Chichetti. Wonderful bar restaurant here on Northeast 2nd Street, Deep Deuce in Oklahoma City. Great drink specials, great food, and a wonderful atmosphere. And this beautiful patio that we are on. Now that it's spring, you got to come out and visit the patio here at Bar Chichetti. Speaking of spring, this last weekend there was a spring surprise, so to speak. 75,000 plus people showed up for the spring game for OU.
Brent Venables has been doing a pretty good job selling the program, right? He and Bob Stoops, since the departure of Lincoln Riley, got the fan base fired up and I think ready for a transition into a different era.
Well, they wanted to fill the palace, and they certainly did. I mean, they had, anytime you can get 75,000, that was a beautiful spring type day, but still, anytime you can get 75,000 plus to show up for a spring game, and to their credit, it was a spring game.
Well, I don't think anybody was going because of the weather. It was a little windy, and then there was a forecast for severe weather, which actually did come through later on in the evening. So it tells me that those people really wanted to be there that afternoon. And I love the enthusiasm of Brent's, and I also love the buy-in from the former players to come back. And I think that under Lincoln, practices have been closed and very, very little access for former players to come in. And I think that is kind of a detriment to the program. You do a good deed by inviting former players to practice, and I don't think that hurts anything to have an active relationship with those guys.
Well, when you get that many former players coming back, it shows that their willingness, they're wanting to be back and be a part of the program. And Brent has welcomed them. I mean, he has gone out of his way to tell them, hey, you guys are welcome anytime, and please come back. And it worked out for everybody because they introduced them, and Brent brought them all in, before the game, and they had, of course, they had the Mayfield unveiling of the statue at halftime and all that. So it all combined, but it was a spectacle in and of itself, unlike anybody had seen in a spring game at OU.
No doubt about it. And you could definitely feel the camaraderie of those players there.
It was, and it was good. The fans ate it up, loved it, were thrilled with it. And I just think that bodes well for next fall when the real games start. Hey, we are at Bar Chichetti on Northeast 2nd Street in Deep Deuce, a great restaurant bar featuring wonderful spirits and wonderful food also. And they will have a pop-up dinner for Cinco de Mayo for their new restaurant, El Coyote, and also have the Savvy Trio, a jazz trio for Mother's Day. So all of those things and more coming up at Bar Chichetti here on Northeast 2nd Street in Deep Deuce.
The painting professionals at Ray the Painter are committed to providing all of our customers excellent service and attention to detail. Since we started in 1991, Ray the Painter serves the entire OKC metro area. We do interiors, exteriors, residential, and commercial work. The experts at Ray the Painter offer custom finishes and glazes for cabinetry and woodwork, as well as spray, brush, roller, and trowel techniques to get the perfect look for your project. For a free estimate, call 405-605-3563 or visit us at paintokc.com. EDS Paintless Dent Repair is your one-stop shop for auto body repair. Whether it be from hail damage, dents, scratches, or even glass replacement and repair, we can accommodate all your needs. Locally owned and operated since 2005, EDS Paintless Dent Repair is here for you. Give us a call at 405-476-1763 or go to edspaintlessdentrepair.com.
Okay, sports fans, we do the Thunder Weekly each week, but there's a lot of things I like to support that are Oklahoma products. I like to go around and do shows from Oklahoma businesses, but one of the businesses I want to talk about is Prairie Wolf Distillery, now Wander Folk Spirits. Wander Folk Spirits distilled out of Guthrie, Oklahoma. Great line of spirits. They have Wander Folk Gin, Wander Folk Vodka, and Old Moses Bourbon. All of these are quality products, and they're distilled right here in Oklahoma. So if you come to like Cohiba Lounge, ask for a Wander Folk Gin and Tonic. or ask for a Wonderfolk vodka and tonic or a club special. It's getting where you can get that now. It's getting warmer. A vodka club special made with Wonderfolk vodka. Great selection, and you're supporting Oklahoma businesses. So support Oklahoma business. Ask your favorite restaurant or bar to carry Wonderfolk spirits.
At Laser Light Skin Clinic, our most popular treatment is now more affordable than ever. Right now, you can save up to 50% on Cool Sculpting, the #1 choice for non-invasive fat reduction. Our flexible treatment plans allow you to choose the option that is perfect for you. Focus on a single problem area or revive your life with a fresh new you. These are real results. For your personal Cool Sculpting consultation, call Laser Light Skin Clinic today. A new you awaits.
And welcome back. Oklahoma Sports Report. Rick Heath, Mark Rodgers from Bar Cicchetti here in Deep Deuce. I want to talk about another wonderful place to eat, Neighborhood Jams. There's 5 locations now in Oklahoma for Neighborhood Jams. One in Norman, one in Midtown, one in Edmond, and now 2 in Tulsa. So if you're looking for a great place for lunch and breakfast and brunches, Neighborhood Jams is where you can go. 5 locations in the state now of Neighborhood Jams. Mark, let's talk real quickly about the spring game. What were your initial thoughts overall about the spring game?
I think the offense looked good to me. Defensively, still not a lot of yards given up, but I think that Dillon Gabriel threw the ball really well in spite of the wind. Receivers may not have had as great a day as you would have liked, a couple of drops, but offensive line I think is going to be improved this year based on strength and conditioning, some of the gains that they've made in the offseason, and I think they'll be a little bit more physical with the offensive approach that they have. So once again, it's really hard to tell when you got your own teammates going against each other. Defense is used to going up against the offense. There's not a whole lot of surprises that the offense, the element of surprise isn't there. So we'll know more in the fall.
You know what I really like? I like the pace. I like an up-tempo pace. I think it benefits the offense. It makes the defense, and especially if you don't substitute and you're moving in at a quick and rapid pace that they seem to be working at, I like that for the offense.
Well, I also think script-wise, to open games and things like that, you can't really take advantage of the defense without substitution, like you mentioned. You can put them in some positions where there's no specialization, and that inability to substitute that's a big deal. I love what Jeff Lebby has said about the pace. It's not something that they have to do all the time. It's not a contest to score as many points as you can. It's really a contest to manage the game effectively. And so I think you need that at times if you're behind, if you want to establish tempo early in the game. There's also a time for an offense that runs clock and is able to take control of the line of scrimmage. And I think that's going to be, to me, more important than anything else. Can you close out games and win?
Yeah, and those are the kind of things, that I love that awareness that they're having. I think there's a place for it, as you said, especially when you start the game and you've got some momentum and you want to press that pace. You can get the defense a bit winded, and especially if your team has been training at that pace, and they will be with the strength and conditioning now. Smitty will have those guys ready to go for that pace. So, I like that, but you're right. There's a place for that and a time for that. I'm just glad that they'll have that as part of their arsenal, and Jeff Lebby can use it, and it helps to have a trigger man that's been part of that offense for a while, and that's what Dillon Gabriel has been able to bring.
Yeah, it does help to have an experienced quarterback. I do think still Dillon Gabriel is going to have to live the ghost of the quarterback pass because Oklahoma's been so good at that position. At least there was a 1-year buffer where last year quarterback play wasn't up to the Heisman runner-up standard. But I think Jeff Lebby is good to me at establishing the run, something that Lincoln Riley didn't seem to care to do much last year.
Well, all you have to do is look back at Jeff Lebby's stay at Mississippi State Mississippi. And they led the SEC in rushing and passing. They had over 200 yards rushing a game and 300 yards passing a game in supposedly the toughest conference in America.
Well, I think last year, the offensive line didn't play well. The offense was kind of disjointed most all season long. and it's tough on a quarterback to make things happen. There's a lot of first down passing and really not a whole lot of attention paid to the run. So I know that I think Jeff Lebby's going to set up Dylan Gabriel for success.
And I think so too. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about that success. In order to have success with your offense, it starts with the offensive line. You said you think it'll be improved. How do you think that will help get that offense going better with an improved offensive line?
I think it'll be a little bit difference in philosophy. It won't be as much sprint draw action with the guys standing up and pass pro. They will have a more, I think, physical aspect of the offense, and I think that's key. If you want to run the football, you're going to fire off and block some people, and I think that the offensive line, Oklahoma should be able to recruit and develop offensive linemen that are strong enough to go win games in the Big 12. And last year they really weren't. They were outmatched in a couple of games last season. Baylor, Oklahoma State, really a few others. Teams were able to get pass rush on Oklahoma with 4 guys, and that's hard to win football games when they're bringing 4 and you can't block them.
Yeah, and you can't block them with 5.
Yeah,
right. That's true. So talking about improved offensive line, in order to have a good running attack, you have to have good running backs. Your thoughts on the running backs?
Well, I like the freshman running backs. I thought that they were good in the game, and so I think that they provided a new element there. We didn't get to see the kid from Millwood, and I thought Marcus Major will have a chance to be a pretty good player this year. So hopefully he will be healthy and ready to go in the fall.
Well, yeah, and that's always, you don't see those kind of players anyway have much of an impact in a spring game. But it was more of a spring game effect than it has been in the past, and I was excited about that. Hey, excited to be here at Bar Cicchetti. That's right, Bar Cicchetti on Northeast 2nd Street in Deep Deuce, where they have a wonderful food menu and drink specials, especially distilled at Wander Folk Spirits in Guthrie, Oklahoma. They have a good working relationship with Wander Folk Spirits, and it's distilled in Guthrie, and they have specials here featuring Wander Folk Spirits, the vodkas, the gins, the same old Moses, and the dark, which is a great liqueur that I'm having a little taste of myself right here. So all of that available here at Bar Cicchetti. We'll be back right after this.
The painting professionals at Ray the Painter are committed to providing all of our customers excellent service and attention to detail. Since we started in 1991, Ray the Painter serves the entire OKC metro area. We do interiors, exteriors, residential, and commercial work. The experts at Ray the Painter offer custom finishes and glazes for cabinetry and woodwork, as well as spray, brush, roller, and trowel techniques to get the perfect look for your project. For a free estimate, call 405-605-3563 or visit us at paintokc.com. EDS Paintless Dent Repair is your one-stop shop for auto body repair. Whether it be from hail damage, dents, scratches, or even glass replacement and repair, we can accommodate all your needs. Locally owned and operated since 2005, EDS Paintless Dent Repair is here for you. Give us a call at 405-476-1763 or go to edspaintlessdentrepair.com.
Okay, sports fans, we do the Thunder Weekly each week, but there's a lot of things I like to support that are Oklahoma products. I like to go around and do shows from Oklahoma businesses, but one of the businesses I want to talk about is Prairie Wolf Distillery, now Wander Folk Spirits. Wander Folk Spirits distilled out of Guthrie, Oklahoma. Great line of spirits. They have Wander Folk Gin, Wander Folk Vodka, and Old Moses Bourbon. All of these are quality products, and they're distilled right here in Oklahoma. So if you come to like Cohiba Lounge, ask for a Wander Folk Gin and Tonic, or ask for a Wander Folk Vodka and Tonic, or a club special. It's getting where you can get that now. It's getting warmer. A vodka club special made with Wander Folk Vodka. Great selection, and you're supporting Oklahoma businesses. So support Oklahoma business. Ask your favorite restaurant or bar to carry Wander Folk Spirits.
At Laser Light Skin Clinic, our most popular treatment is now more affordable than ever. Right now, you can save up to 50% on Cool Sculpting, the #1 choice for non-invasive fat reduction. Our flexible treatment plans allow you to choose the option that is perfect for you. Focus on a single problem area or revive your life with a fresh new you. These are real results. For your personal cool sculpting consultation, call Laserlight Skin Clinic today. A new you awaits.
The painting professionals at Ray the Painter are committed to providing all of our customers excellent service and attention to detail. Since we started in 1991, Ray the Painter serves the entire OKC metro area. We do interiors, exteriors, residential, and commercial work. The experts at Ray the Painter offer custom finishes and glazes for cabinetry and woodwork, as well as spray, brush, roller, and trowel techniques to get the perfect look for your project. For a free estimate, call 405-605-3563 or visit us at paintokc.com.
And welcome back, Oklahoma Sports Report. Mark Rodgers, Rick Heath here from Bar Cicchetti. Bar Cicchetti now has a couple of great things coming up in the future. They'll have a pop-up dinner for Cinco de Mayo to celebrate the opening of their new El Coyote Mexican restaurant. So on Cinco de Mayo, be here at Bar Cicchetti. And also Mother's Day, they're going to have the Savvy Trio Jazz Quartet here. The trio, excuse me, not a quartet, it's Savvy Trio. It is a trio. Anyway, it's here for Mother's Day, and hopefully it'll be a wonderful weather day, and you can be out here on this beautiful patio here at Bar Cicchetti. Mark, we're talking about, the pluses, offensive line and all that. Where do you think the weaknesses might be in this OU offense?
That's a hard question. I don't know that the offense has weakness. I think that maybe depth on the offensive line, that could be a little bit of a concern, but I think that they're good enough at receiver. The H-back position has experience there too. They're deep in the slot with good players. There's not much depth at quarterback. I don't know who's going to go.
That's the backup. That's the one thing that they really haven't pinpointed. They've got a true freshman and they've got a couple of walk-ons, but that's about it for backups.
That's right. And
for quarterback.
I don't know about the true freshman. I'm not sure that he's going to be ready to play based on what I've heard. They've got an outstanding player committed from Dent in Texas that will be a part of next year's class that I think that they would be really excited about. So that is a question. I mean, I think if they have to go to a backup quarterback, then things could get interesting.
Yeah, and surely the portal might provide somebody that has a little bit of experience.
Well, we got a couple days before the portal is done.
Well, now help me out here. They have to declare before May 1st.
That's correct.
But they don't have to show up or commit to where they want to go by May 1st.
That's correct.
They just have to be in the portal, and then it may take, a little sifting, so to speak, to find out who's available and who might be able wanting to come.
But here's the deal with that to me. I don't think you're going to find a whole lot in the portal following spring football because I don't know that a guy's going to go want to be a backup someplace. And so, they're looking for a place where I can compete to start, I would think. I don't know if they're looking. So that's going to make it kind of tough on OU. They have to go with what they've got. Ben Harris, a really good quarterback at Carl Albert. Ralph Rucker was, I think Lincoln Riley liked him. Plus, he's got a great name. So
yes.
We'll see. Maybe those guys, if they get out there, they'll be able to succeed.
Well, hopefully, but they will find somebody that has a little bit more experience than what they have on man in order to have them as a backup. Let's talk about defense. The one big addition I think that is going to happen for OU's defense is the coaching staff.
Well, in a program mentality to be able to practice aggressively and tackle and be physical. And I think that that's going to be something that Brent Venables demands. Whereas in the past, I don't think they paid as much attention to that. So, yeah, I think the culture of the program changes, and defensively, they should be able to just at least play fundamentally more sound football.
Well, they had just look at the upcoming NFL draft. Look at all the players that are going to be going in the first 4 or 5 rounds from OU.
They're more defensive oriented than they've ever been in the past. Now that could be a good thing and a bad thing, Rick, because they did lose some talented guys. And it did seem like last year was an underachieving season for the defense, really underachieving for kind of everybody, because the players tested out at the combine a little better than what they played on the field last year. But they do have some playmakers at all 3 levels of the defense. But that's a big question for me. Can we see some improvement? Because I don't know that there was development as much as I'd like to have seen at OU in the past. Players moving around in the secondary to different positions. Linebacker, Deshaun White had a big stick at the beginning of the game. So I think that area to me should be good on up front. Stripling and Jalen Redmond, really experienced in the back with guys that had a lot of success last season. So how those linebackers play will be a big deal.
Well, I think the O-line, the defensive line, not the O-line, but the defensive line will be, they'll be good. They won't be as good, I think, as last year because they don't have as many bodies. Linebackers, to me, is a question mark. But I think where you'll see a lot of improvement is the defensive backs.
They have some experience. Defensive backs have had a really hard time tackling and being physical. It is the same group. I mean, and Brent Venables is hard to work. Can't be magical back there with guys in that size. And so he's got his work cut out for the DBs being a little more physical.
I think from nothing else, if they're a little bit more physical, maybe that will be more effective. I don't know, but I have this feeling that we'll see a better version of the defensive backs this coming year. Hey, we are at Bar Cicchetti in Deep Deuce, Northeast Deep Deuce, where they have a great menu of food items, and they have wonderful brunches on Saturdays and Sundays, especially Sunday 11 to 2 with live music out here on the patio. So if you're looking for a great place for a brunch, Bar Cicchetti. And don't forget Mother's Day, they will have a jazz trio out here on the patio, and also on Cinco de Mayo, they'll be celebrating the new restaurant El Coyote here from Bar Cicchetti. We'll be right back. More on the Oklahoma Sports Report after this. Ready? All right, here we go in 3, 2, 1. And welcome back. Last segment of the Oklahoma Sports Report here at Bar Cicchetti on the patio. One thing I wanted to mention about the defense, I saw a formation that I think fans might find interesting, and that's a 3-2-6 formation.
Oh, okay. Well, a lot of guys flying around back there to the football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's one of those formations that, some people would call it a trick formation, whatever. But I like it because it gives you a lot of flexibility to do different things with corner blitzes, safety blitzes,
right. Guessing games.
things like that to make that offense question what's going on.
Well, especially if the defense is in a passing situation, because if you're in a 3rd and long, I think that teams are pretty reluctant to run the ball. I mean, even though that's a good play at times. So it'll be a guessing game with the offense, and if they want to run into that 5-man front, then hey, they'll have a chance. But moving guys around in and out of the box gives a quarterback confusion and sometimes results in bad play calls where they run into a blitz. And I think that's a defensive-minded coach's adjustment.
Yeah, and I like that. Give them a different look and make them be guessing. Okay, speaking of guessing, I'm just kind of guessing which teams are going to make the NBA Finals. We're talking NBA's coming into the playoffs right now, and there's some interesting teams right now. Boston Celtics just knocked off the Nets, and I, for one, was very happy that they swept them and made the Nets look bad. Your thoughts so far on the NBA playoffs?
We're about 10 days into the playoffs, and I think that the biggest takeaway so far is injuries. Devastating injuries so far to several teams, which has turned the playoffs upside down to me. Phoenix loss of Devin Booker is a big obstacle to overcome. Joel Embiid's thumb injury may have given us the first ever, 4-game sweep, or 4 games, one after being down 3-0. I love the way the Celtics are playing defense. I love the maturation of Jason Tatum, who's a young player that's really figured it out this season and is learning how to share the ball more, who's obviously always been able to score. So I think that, to me, I think the Bucks are still the favorite in the East. Chris Middleton being out is a big loss. They need him back in the series against Boston, I think, to be competitive, but I still think Milwaukee's got a good shot, if not them, Boston, to win the East. West, I like Golden State. They're the healthiest team. They battled injuries all season long, and they're healthy at the right time.
Well, yeah, with Booker being out, that kind of, makes the Suns vulnerable because he's their leading scorer, of course. But, one of the things that I like and I've observed is the young coaches coming up and doing well. Boston's young coach, I mean, he's showed that he can, it was a question mark the first 30, 45 days for Boston. I mean, they were scrambling, wanting to go, what's going on and all that. They righted the ship. Now they're playing lockdown defense, and that's why he came over, because he was a defensive-minded coach.
Ime Udoka has done as good a job as anyone in the NBA. Celtics were 25-25, and it could have gone either way for them right there. They were in that play-in area in the Eastern Conference and kind of worked themselves into great position in the 2 spot.
You know, and one of the things I also like, another coach that has come up and done well is Jason Kidd for the Mavericks. He's brought their defense from nowhere out where it's becoming a lot better of an overall team effect.
That's a big surprise. Jason
Yeah.
Kidd improves the defense over Rick Carlisle, who I just think maybe in the NBA, your voice gets a little tired after many years with one franchise. So yeah, good point. I wouldn't have said that. Jason Kidd has done a nice job, but the Mavs are playing defense.
Yeah, they are. And the only other thing is the Suns and the Pelicans. Gosh, you know, I would not be surprised if the Pelicans go 7, but I still think the Suns win it.
I agree. Suns are deep enough to win.
Hey, all right, we will talk more about NBA and all the other sports going on here on the Oklahoma Sports Report. For Mark Rodgers, I'm Rick Heath. We'll see you next time on the Oklahoma Sports Report.